What's up, everybody? This is DJ Lionhead, and this is the Support Cha Boi Podcast. Now, we have a great guest today. And when I say great, I mean great. This person is an artist. He is a music engineer. He is a DJ. He is a sound engineer. There's so much he does here, man. He's a podcaster. He does radio. And there's probably more things that he does that I don't even know about. But we're going to get into that. He is the one. And if you're in Sacramento and you're an artist and need studio time, he is one of the guys, I would say the only DJ Lut. Okay. Yeah, man, to me, this is big. You understand how big this is? You gotta understand, when I was mixing and mastering and doing all things of that nature, I like to get tips from you because your tips mean more than anybody else who's at my level. So when I need like a higher level of learning or tips, I like to go to you and ask questions. Man, no problem, man. So this is big, and I want to thank you for being on the Support Cha Boi Podcast. It means a lot to me here. For those guys that are like, hey, how come you're not sitting there with DJ Lionhead? So I forgot something that goes with my mask, and so don't worry about it. We'll get into that some other time. But now, the focus is on DJ Lut. So the first thing I wanted to ask you is, how did you get this name?
So years ago, I used to play basketball just casually with some friends, and one guy, he started calling me Money Mike. My first name's Mike. And then when the second Friday movie came out, was it third?
Money Mike. Yeah, I think it was the
Money
second
Mike,
one.
the character. I'm like, yeah, great. Now people are going to think, as I build my career, that I stole it from the movie.
Right. Where's your pimp suit, bro?
Yeah. So one of my very first artists, shout out to Frank C. One of the very first artists, a couple decades ago, that I started with my emerging career working with, said, okay, Money, Lut, you're DJ Lut. He just threw it out. Okay. And there we go.
Man.
Stuff.
That's dope. That it came from that time. So people who didn't know that, you know that now. Coming from the Support Cha Boi Podcast, brought to you by DJ Lut himself. So I have a question here. It's a very important question. And all the artists in Sacramento and San Francisco, anybody in Northern California who's been in the studio with DJ Lut would love to know the answer to this question. Are you ready? Out of all the artists you had in your studio, which artist was the mustiest?
I haven't thought about that. I love it. This is the throw me off, kind of make me think. Okay. There have been a few. There have been a few.
If you're a producer, you know you have one.
I can't think of anyone specifically, but in the summer months. Okay, so earlier in my music production career, I built mine like a lot of engineers and producers do, out of the spare bedroom studio, apartment, whatever. And there were a couple of those where the AC, it was just bad in the summer. I remember some guys being there bringing a towel and sweat and dripping.
Man,
like my current situation.
I'm here because
I can't think of anyone specific, but I do remember a few bigger dudes that were
lacking of the deodorant. Right.
Well, I hope they had deodorant on it. These hot.
Yeah, these hot sack summers will. Just don't go into his booth trying that organic deodorant. It's not going to work out right. Not either mine either. Don't come in there with the don't worry, my deodorant, don't worry, it's not going to have any chemicals. It's organic. You're going to funk this place up. Just onions and freaking vinegar. Anyway. So
rotten meat.
Exactly. So, I guess for those people who probably want to know, as far as For those, I say artists who probably say, well, how much experience does he have as far as being an engineer or working in music production? Could you answer that question for them?
Approaching 3 total decades. I'd say two total decades, approaching 20 years. Like really after that initial phase where I'm kind of figuring it out, went to school for it. So I had like a little bit of tinkering and then a degree, and then from there came experience networking with artists. I had about 20 years really with my name on projects that were out, like known artists coming through. And so that, and I would say I've probably reached around the 25,000 songs mixed and or mastered.
Damn.
I've been at it that long. It's a lot of material. I was trying to do a count I put in. They say, what do they say? It's the when you reach
10,000 hours, something like that.
10,000.
Wow. So I have a segment here for artists. It's called What's Your Preference? This is a new one for producers and engineers and things of that nature. So I have some questions. Usually I have a lot longer ones for the artists, but I still have like 3 good questions I like to ask producers, beat makers, things of that nature. I'm gonna ask you to give you like one or the other. You let me know which one is your preference when it comes to music production.
Okay. One of my segments in my research.
Really?
Called This or That.
Okay. Yeah. So, DJ Lut, what's your preference? Artists writing in the booth once they get there, or having the lyrics memorized and getting into the booth memorized?
That's an easy answer. If they're good at either one, I'm fine with either. I think for the most part, when folks write first and they've rehearsed it, it usually goes a little better than coming up with stuff on the spot. Perfect example. I came in, booked a 3-hour session, I don't know, 4 years ago when I was in Oakland. And he came in, I'm going to freestyle like 5 songs in the 3 hours. And, I mix fast. I work fast. So, and the guy I thought he was coming in with ideas and everything. 3 hours, the dude dropped 2 bars.
Wow.
I got paid for my time. I was like, okay. And I was trying to help. I don't want people to waste anybody's time. Theirs, mine, with their money. But I'm like, he just kept. Okay, so that's an example of coming in and trying to freestyle it. Whereas on the other hand, someone like Mr. Fab, he came in and did a song, and it was just head, just go.
Wow. Yeah, I've been hearing that you get things done so quick.
Better. If I have to lean one way, written. Okay.
Overall. Come in there written if you're not good at freestyle off the dome.
Yep.
Okay. Question number 2. What's your preference, DJ Lut, when making a beat? Drums first or melody?
Usually melody. Seriously, about 99.5%. It's usually it's something like, the melody or like rhythm, chords, whatever.
Right.
As opposed to, I don't bang out kick and snare pattern. I don't do any of that.
Gotcha.
It's very rare.
Unless
I'm going through some loops or something. Something just really sticks out. I need to use it. So,
I 100% agree. I'm that same way. Okay. Last one here. DJ Lut, mix and master your songs on your own or use these new AI apps and websites?
Mix and master on my own. I have, in fact, I don't even collab with people on beat making, but mixing and mastering, I have probably a lot of bad habits that I've turned into good results.
Right.
I just have my ways of going about it. So first and foremost, I collab on those apps. AI, I will never ever use as a crutch or to do things for me. One thing I have used it for, and nobody said that this sounds like something I shouldn't be doing, could be a gray area. There are sites that can, so let's say you go with hip hop is based off of sampling records.
Right.
That's how the genre came about.
That's correct.
Okay, so when you sample a record, worry about not royalties, but copyright aspect and clearing samples. Well, if I can have the AI make a song that I sample,
right?
It's like I'm sampling a record. I tell it to make a 1970s sounding funk, whatever. I sample that. I don't have to clear samples.
That's correct.
I won't get in trouble.
No, you won't.
And I'm doing the thing that.
That is so true. That is exactly correct.
And if anyone wants to debate it, I'm using the AI, but I'm doing the same thing I would.
Exactly. It's the same thing that people are using those royalty-free loops. I'm guilty of that. I love royalty-free loops.
Yeah, I use them too. They get reason.
Exactly.
I do so many things. I hear it on another song. I'm like, oh yeah, that was reason.
Yeah.
So that's why I hear that. All use those things.
Now, I've been hearing, there's a recently post out on Instagram that these AI apps that are making complete songs, and then the people who are developing these songs, people who are putting the information in, and then once they come up with songs like BBL Drizzy, there are people making songs just like that and deciding to put that on Spotify.
Yeah, so you're just putting a song out to make money off of something. I'm not about that. That would be like, and I know people are out there doing this, that would be like me going to XYZ site, make 80 beat per minute trap, whatever, and then putting that on my BeatStars.
Oh, no.
Not going to do it. We'll never, ever do that.
No, I can't have that.
I cannot go that route.
Yeah. So these companies are getting sued now. Udio was one of them, and I forgot the other one. Soro. Those are the two main ones where you can create a whole song by typing in what you want. That's Udio is what BBL Drizzy was made on. And like so, but they're not coming after the artist yet, but they're coming after these apps, things of that nature. So I think that's good for us artists, because we want to make money and make our own music out of ourselves. And I understand things want to be easier. AI, I think, is going to help out and all.
It's a tool.
You're right. It's a tool.
Use elements of it.
Right.
To enhance what you are doing yourself.
Right. Exactly. So there was this other post that was saying that Spotify is using these things like Udio, and what they're doing is they're waiting to artists start going viral. They're using AI to capitalize on, for example, if DJ Lut goes viral for anything, they'll just, he has a song. Did he put it on Spotify? Let me go ahead and just mimic that off of what he goes viral. Now that's kind of nasty business that they're doing.
That's like plagiarism realm.
Exactly. That is basically saying, hey, we got this other song here, and it's by DJ Cash instead of Lou. You know what I mean? Made by Spotify. So they're pulling those kind of tricks now, but we'll get more into that a little bit later. Excuse me.
It's a gray area and a lot of discussion to be had. Somebody out there right now is probably like, okay, the fact that I'm having it make a song, but then I sample it in the same exact way I would sample an existing song. I'm not doing anything that I wouldn't do anyway.
Right.
It's a source material.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
Someone wants to discuss those aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm doing anything wrong.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I also noticed that you've been doing this CIF Fire collaboration. I won't say compilation albums for quite a bit. You're on number 12 now.
Working on 13.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing. I've been doing them since 09. DJ Lut presents. That's for all the projects. Presents. And the CIF Fire series is my primary. 09 until now, 15 years worth. So what I've tried to do, I want to start lowering the number of songs on these projects so I can have more volume. What sounds more impressive? I'm on volume 12 or volume 35? That sounds, right?
Yeah, that sounds more.
But I used to load them up with 30 songs.
You did. You used to have so many songs. I remember the one where you had like the 101 sign, but it said I-80 or something like that.
I-80 roll call.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be 40. It ended up 37.
That's a lot of songs.
Yeah, so I feel like I want to, and somehow the number always grows, and I end up back at 20 again.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, working on volume 13. So these compilations, I have Unlimited Sounds, ulsounds.com for folks that need publishing and distribution.
Nice.
So they use Sony Orchard. So I have like Sony's distribution.
Yeah.
Publishing. I have all that in line. Everything set up, everything good to go. So I have the ability to showcase various artists, one song per artist or group per project. But I have to be the one to produce or co-produce the beat I mix and master. So it's like my resume. Someone says, "Let me hear some of your work." Or volume, whatever.
Right. So many.
So it accomplishes a lot of things.
For somebody like me who also worked with a lot of artists and produced music and put out a couple of albums with artists, one of the things that I've always wanted to do is create a I said this a couple of times on the podcast. I wanted to create what I would call a politic-free compilation album. The artists I would get together and do songs where they can actually do politic-free music is what I want to do. But I wanted to do it as a compilation. But it seems to be a lot tougher to get these artists to be on time, make the music on time, send it back on time. How do you deal with that? Because if you're on 12, you've got some kind of key to keep it going.
Usually I say, so 6 months from now I want to be, and it ends up being 18 months.
Man.
So many different people involved, and there are folks that I don't want to leave off, and then maybe something comes up on their end that is a legitimate reason why you just have to put it off. Maybe I'm more lenient than I need to be, but then some of the time it's like, well, I'll have a force on it. Hey, these always take way longer than you would expect.
Yeah, so maybe I just have to have the patience. I gotta have the patience to do it.
I don't have. That's the thing. I do everything myself. I don't have
a team.
I don't have a team or like a manager type calling and getting on their case. It's all me.
Exactly.
So I'm a calm kind of black guy. Little energetic, but yeah, I don't know.
You gotta be. You gotta be.
For me to really lay down the law on folks and say it's a deadline. I mean, I do, but then they're like, "Oh, okay, you have your sob story."
Exactly.
I'll reach out to you in a month.
Man. See, we were just talking about off camera about DJ Lut's radio show. Can you explain to us a little bit of what this is about?
So since the first week of 2019, 221 total episodes later, weeks I didn't have them, but yeah, I have had a radio show. So I'd say the first few years of it, it wasn't. So when people say podcast, we're live. So technically you're a live show that is also like an archive podcast.
Right.
So I was also live, but it was internet only. They had a station in San Francisco, and there's a big machine behind it. The guy that owned it, like, simulcast on hundreds of other outlets. So it had a pretty big following and visibility. And my show consists of, well, it used to be 2 hours, then it became 3. But the first half was playing music, a variety of genres, independent music. Then I would have a guest, and that formula hasn't really changed. I've added a couple of segments here and there. But yeah, the guest is the main focal point. Music artists, models, singers, actors, comedians. I've had a variety of stuff.
Nice.
Technology development people, VR developers, a lot of different stuff.
That's cool.
But mainly music people. I have a couple fun segments, like a trivia kind of thing I do with them, or this or that, kind of like what you did with
what's
10
your
different
preference?
questions. Yeah, what's your preference? So,
yeah.
And now I'm on KZCT 89.5 FM in Vallejo.
Oh, man.
So it's FM with the internet feed. So
that's dope.
Folks in the Bay can just tune in on the radio there. And I do it remote from Citrus Heights, my home studio.
Wow.
So I don't have to...
You hear that? Bay Area?
Yeah.
You got him. What was that station called again? What did I tune into from
It's
day?
Ozcat.
Ozcat.
That's its kind of pet name, but it's KZCT.
KZCT.
KZCT, 89.5 FM. If you're in the Vallejo area, the North Bay, it's a like community access public radio.
Okay.
The Vallejo community really loves it. You have a variety, so it's not like just one certain type of music or format. You can't play commercials unless they make it, but it's not that type of radio. I can do whatever I want as long as there's no cussing.
Right. That's dope, though. I like that. That. Okay.
Every week, every Monday, noon to 3.
Noon to 3. You know, I'm going to say this now so that people can hear. Is there any chance in the future I can be on that?
Yep.
Whoa, you hear that, you guys?
Starting in mid-November.
I can do that. I can do that.
Just inbox me on Facebook.
Okay.
Give me about an hour till I get home and get settled back and before I start my session.
Gotcha.
I'll look at the calendar.
Gotcha. So I have a couple more questions. Let's see here. So this is kind of an obvious answer. When somebody with your amount of experience, which do you prefer using, analog or digital equipment?
A lot of what I do in the mix side, a lot, but not all, is digital. When it comes to mastering, I've been focusing on analog. I have a bunch of SSL gear and just some really specialized high-end analog gear for doing mastering. It's just a bigger, bolder, fuller sound.
I agree.
There's detail that comes out with analog that's either lost or doesn't exist in doing it digital. Digital's come a long way though, but I prefer analog to master.
I'm gonna have to talk to you about that, because when it comes to mastering, I'm digital because I just don't have the knowledge for analog, and I do believe that analog sounds better. Anybody who's producing way longer than me will agree that analog sounds better when it comes to mastering. A
lot of the digital plugins, they emulate the analog devices.
Yes, they do.
So it's kind of the gain staging aspect, making sure that your level of your signal to the noise floor is as far apart as possible. Just keeping the noise level out, the noise hiss. So that's a factor that's not going to be really there in digital, because it's all in the computer, ones and zeros. So.
Right, exactly.
But it's one of the more important things. If you can kind of fine tune and unintended master that aspect of analog mastering, then that's one of the key things.
Man, I wish I knew. That's why I'm probably going to go to you for some work. Anybody needs some mixing and mastering, and you want that analog sound, because you just want your mastering to sound better, more professional, hit up DJ Loo, because I am. Okay, so another question I have here is, what's the best and the worst part about being a music producer / engineer?
Best part, creating great music. I say great music. It's all art. So people are like, I guess we're kind of past are we past the prevalence of mumble rap, for instance?
Right.
Overall, we're at its peak. And
I agree.
Whether you like it or not, or whatever genre, any type of music or sound, it's still art. I respect that someone's trying to put their idea out there. I get that.
Yeah.
But there are also, there's making music, let's just say making the music side, but one of the negatives, or one of the more annoying is when folks are doing things that like don't work. Music, like I've had people want me to play making a beat. They want me to play a certain thing, and it's just completely out of key of the beat, and it's like bad, out of key, or whatever the case, or insistent on something that's not going to work. Or another one is, and this is more of an annoyance kind of thing, but when people are like, hey, I have XY number of songs, however many I need them mastered, and then they send me the Pro Tools sessions. Well, I told you 75,000 times, there's mixing and mastering. So it's just where people are, I don't know if they're just not listening when I'm explaining to preparation, or like, I think it's when folks I'm trying to communicate something to them, and I believe I'm reasonably good at doing it.
Right.
And then they just, or I'll mix a song and I sent the entire wrong version of the song. Like, you're going to have to pay me to do the right version.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. I think when artists are just like not absorbing the things that I'm trying to tell them to do to make things easier or more efficient, or just done right.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Let's just make a DJ Lut mixing and then DJ Lut mastering tutorial. Okay. For the artist on how should an artist send you their music if they're going to mix it. What are the first 3 things they need to do if they want, hey, I want you to, my mixing sucks. This producer I have, he sucks in mixing. There's hiss all over the place and everything is just jumbled. What do I need to send you to get you to mix it correctly? First 3 things.
Well, first, if it's vocals, it's a rapper, singer, or whatever, there's instrumentation and vocals. Make sure you're capturing your vocals in at least a reasonably well-treated room. Even if it's a corner with foams in it and you don't have the smoke alarm, chirp all the time. How many times have I gotten vocals with that in it? So just making sure that you have a reasonably, or as quiet as possible, of a room with some form of acoustic treatment. You can get the reflection filters. There's the chaotic eyeball that the mic sits in, and that does work. It's not a gimmicky thing. I've recorded verses in the worst places on location. Anyway, capture your vocals well. Reasonably good microphone and preamp. So do that. Make sure that you're leaving effects off the vocal. Let's say they record in something that's not Pro Tools. I'll have them. That's what I mix it and record it. So if I'm going to need tracked out, and I can explain this to folks exactly how to do it, but some people will send me the track outs, each track, the full length of the song, so the empty spaces there, I drag it in, it all lines up to the beat, everything just sits where it did when you saw it in your program.
Right. And
then I'll be going through and I'll hear this wild, crazy reverb and something else on another track, and so dry, complete, no effects, just your voice. And that's it. Sending dry, highest quality, 24 or 32-bit wave files. Don't send a 64 kilobyte MP3. And it all goes in order. Quality capturing of vocals. High quality, dry tracks.
Right.
Beyond that, having an idea. If you know certain things you want me to do in the mix, and then I do it, and you say, oh yeah, I had 15 other ideas, and it's like completely out of stuff I already did, and we're starting from scratch. That's so have a game plan, as well as quality files and quality capture vocals. Those are 3 things that will help me. If I have a to-do list, some folks just say do my thing.
Right.
Or like Shaughnessy, I know how to mix it. I've 1,000 songs.
Right. So
I think those are 3.
Anybody out there who is trying to get Lut to mix your song, don't go over and send him the YouTube beat and then the vocals with the auto tune all over it, and hey, mix this down and make me sound like a cleaner version of T-Pain.
Pretty much.
Okay, so when it comes to mastering, what's the 3 things you would need an artist to send over to say, I got this thing mixed and it sounds great mixed, but it's not very loud. What do I need to do?
Make sure, this is the key thing with mastering, well, with any part of the process, make sure it's the right file. Okay. With analog, I have to run it in real time and process through here, and it's not just clicking a few mouse clicks. So I'm gonna sit and go through that whole thing. Oh, I sent you the wrong version. It's the one that the girl didn't sing the harmonies on. Oh, and that's how, yeah, that exact one. It's like, I forgot the one with the girl on it. That means I have to sit down. I have to, if I've done something else and changed the knobs on it, this is analog gear. I turn a knob, I have to turn it, I'm start from scratch.
Oh,
so
man.
make sure that it is the proper version of the song that you, as the artist, I can't change anything in the mix. Can you bring the second verse up a little bit louder? The first guy is louder than him. No, I mean, I could make some EQ adjustments to kind of sort of enable it, but there's no... So make sure, number one, you love the mix. It's the proper version. Make sure it is... when, let's say you have a program that you can look and see the volume level. It's from 0, and then like the 0 down here, and the line in the middle, that's your left and your right track. And
right.
So make sure that it's like 6 dB down, around in there.
Okay.
So not full volume, and where you see it in the window on your computer. Drop that volume down. Make sure it's not mixed and rendered so loudly that it's just this solid blue color.
Yeah, where everything is peaking.
Yeah, anyone that's seen audio in a program knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you want to
exactly.
have it. You want to have it at about 75% of that full volume, somewhere in there. What's the other thing? There's that, and the highest quality, 32-bit, 192 kilohertz sample rate WAV file would be ideal.
Okay.
Even just 24-bit, just the highest you can get it to.
Highest you
and
can
then
get.
Finally, usually unless there's a reason I need the beat rendered separately from all the vocals, sometimes I'll use the beat and then all the vocals. I'm talking, you just mute the beat, you render the song,
right?
So it's all a cappella, and I'll treat those differently and then just merge them together. But most of the time, it's just the mixed final 2-track single WAV file. That works.
That's dope. You see that? Look at that, man. See, this is great. Of course, you guys have more of this. You need to do tutorials for artists. That's what I would do. If I were you, I would do YouTube tutorials how to send a track to be mixed, how to send a track to be mastered, man. Because you can give a class on this, man. I think with your knowledge, you can give a class on this.
I probably could, but
yes, you could.
I feel like I'm not a great teacher. I'm a hands-on, get things done doer, but not a teacher. Even though I just pointed out some things, but beyond that, people want to. I think it comes back to some of my my bad habits that I've figured out how to make work. I don't want to be teaching somebody one way that's going to be. I don't know. I think I'm too critical of myself.
Yeah, but most of the people who are critical of themselves are the best teachers, because the ones who are not critical, who think they know it all, like this is the all-knowing, the best way to do it, there's no other way, those guys usually crap. There
are a few ways usually with anything to accomplish what you want.
Right, and the best teachers know that.
Maybe I should.
Yeah, because the best teachers know that there's more than just one way. But the people we have on tutorials, this is the way I do it, it's the way. No, it's not. There's other ways. I'm just saying. I would definitely watch that and share that. The DJ Lut tutorials on how, because that's the one I don't see. Like people, because a lot of these artists out here, they make songs and they don't know how to send them to producer. Like, I'm not going to Lou. He be asking me all the dry vocals. What's he talking about? He ain't want to worry about the auto tune. It's already in there. I'm making it easy for him. No, you're not. So yeah, another thing is I want to mention about. I'll mention these things because I also record people. Like I said, not to his level, but I do record people in. I have my own studio and things of that nature. I wanted to ask you about this because I've been through this one time. I want to know if you have. What's the most? This is hilarious. What is the most adlibs you ever seen on a track that you had to mix down?
Okay, so I've seen a lot, and it may be due to the folks like doing a run of them. They'll just keep adding where they could have maybe put it on one track,
right.
or well, with ad-libs, they're going to run another one because they forgot a word or two. Yeah, just because they didn't get it all in one take. I've seen people that'll do 2 bars on the main. Right. This is, you're asking ad-libs. I've seen a lot, but like it's fun when I get them where there's the main and that's another track below it for the next 2 bars, and they create a new track for every, and it's this 50 tracks going downward that they could.
Oh my god!
If they knew how to punch in or just have like 1 and a second for the overlap, back to the track 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Oh,
instead of me having to drag, slide.
Yeah,
Really?
that's the most frustrating for me.
Ad-libs,
I have one.
ad-libs. Maybe about 10 ad-lib tracks somewhere in there.
I had a guy, 28. And all he was doing in there, it was just sound effects. He had this main, he had his main, and then he had just one regular ad lib he was saying to complement the main, and then he did a bunch of things he was saying, like he was, well, of course, a bunch of the yeah,
typical.
But each one had to be a track, and then he had the weirdest things. He decided to make his own car police alarm. And then he used another line, go chirp chirp. As for some reason you need to hear a car alarm, and then he wanted to make the crowd. So each track was, "Hey man, what's going on, man? Give me another one."
All that.
"Hey, what's up, man? I ain't seen you in a long time." So he had like a conversation.
Those are all right, crowd stuff.
Yeah, but when he started doing too much, then he had other ones where like, so he had one where, oh, this was the funniest one. He said, "Hey man, the baby's crying," and he going, "Wah!" Him going, "Wah!" all in the track while he's rapping in the verse. It was hilarious, but that's what he wanted. I mean, he did smell like Hennessy, though. Like a lot of alcohol he had on it, but it was still the hilarious thing I ever mixed, and it took forever. Forever. So, man, this is so great to have you on the podcast. There's so many other questions I have, but at the same time, I want to be respectful to your time, because you're a man who a jack of many trades, and you are a very busy man. So the fact that you would agree to be on the podcast means a lot to me.
I'm glad to be here. I've seen your posts. I've watched a couple recent episodes. Henny Holyfield one.
Yeah,
it was great seeing him. Yeah,
I tried to bring in everybody I possibly can, and I'm trying to get into more, because I like to push anything on the. I'm trying to light on anything that's underground, whether it's music production, small business, and content creation. That's the idea of Support Your Podcast. Support Your Boy Podcast is basically to shine a light on any light I can. So yeah, and like I said, this means a lot to have you here. There's another question I have for you here. What is the hardest part of creating a song, do you believe?
Hardest part? Having writer's or composer's block and trying to re-emerge from it. I just sort of came out of that, and a couple of years ago I was really in one.
That's almost
maintaining a steady, because I try to have quantity as well as quality, and if I'm just go, and then I just run out of ideas.
Oh my god,
that's one of the things that I hate, and it makes it difficult to even want to do it. I have to figure out how long I need to get my mind off it completely. Don't even touch the studio gear.
Right.
Is it going to be too long? And then I know I'll be able to come back out of it. But I'd say maintaining creativity up to my level up to my bar, my satisfaction. That
kind of led me to the question, even though you kind of answered it, which was, what is DJ Lut's cure for writer's block?
Probably coming back to something that I haven't touched in a while. Like, you heard me playing the live saxophone on that track just now.
That was dope.
I've been playing saxophone and mute trumpet and some live instruments that I hadn't touched in a while on a lot of new stuff. Stuff in the past couple of years. That's what kind of got me out of it. Adding some live instrumentation. Then about the same time, I started producing my own EDM singles, house music, electronic dance, all that stuff. No lyrics really, just and that's marketable stuff. You hear it in TV, you go in the mall, it's playing in the clothing stores, all that. And it's good music anyway. I like all genres overall. So adding a new genre and getting my saxophone out and just adding it.
How many instruments do you play?
Let's just say about 15, about Jesus. 5 or 6 total that I play well enough to play properly. Like, I have my grandma's accordion. I can play. I can find a few of the chords on it. I'm playing it, but can I play it? So I count it. Like if I find a few cool chords, I could sample that, and then I made a beat out of it. So I played the accordion, but I don't play the accordion. Mainly saxophone, trumpet, a little bit of guitar, a little bit of bass guitar, the keyboard, which obviously gives me any sounds I assign to it. Hey, the human voice is an instrument. I sing hooks. Yeah. I've been singing hooks for years.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. That I've heard you sing. I'm like, this is pretty dope.
CIF Fire Volume 7.
Yes.
I sang all the hooks on that.
Yeah, I heard like 3 or 4 songs you were singing. I'm like, okay, this dude is just expanding all his talents. I love it. I love to see people do things that you did not expect them to do. And you even had a rock song where you were singing.
I have a bunch of rock songs, but now which?
It was like a rockish type of song, and I think you did the hook for it.
Just the hook. I have to dig and try to find out what that was. Years ago, I did a bunch of rock songs that were so demo sounding. I don't want to put them out. They're just very cookie cutter, looped. I play a guitar part and loop. The content is good. The lyrics are great on some of the songs.
But it's like the quality you have in your mind now is not up to par.
I need some bands to take the songs on, the chord progressions and the lyrics, and someone singing, a whole band do them.
So, yeah.
Rock. What did I do that had me singing the? I think I know what you're talking about. I post IG a little quick snippet like I've been doing.
Like I said, I've been watching you for a while, and also you working a lot with this one singer. What's her name again?
Several. I've had
Siren
from about 2016 to about 4 years ago. We pumped out a lot of material.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed a lot.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome. Like I said, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do enjoy having the time that I have here now. I'm going to ask you one of the biggest questions that I ask anybody in the podcast. Are you ready?
Yeah. I'll just say yeah.
Okay, here we go.
What if I said no? What happens? Then we sit here forever.
We'll just sit here forever.
Our batteries die.
Here we go.
What did I do wrong?
Is there a chance that I can get DJ Lut back on the podcast?
Well, of course.
Oh, you hear that, you guys?
Back on my radio show. Every couple of years, that's enough time. New stuff has happened, and sometimes sooner.
For the people out there, like, this guy sounds dope, and I got to get him to do my album. Where can I go ahead and reach this guy? Does he have an Instagram?
Every social except PlayStation. I noticed that at one point. I told someone to go and do whatever game with me, and they couldn't find me. But it's at DJ Lut 916, just not on PlayStation. Gotcha. IG, whatever Twitter is now, X.
Yeah.
Everything is DJ Lut 916, and there's also
916
DJLoot.biz. That's the site. There you can see, so you'll see the links to the socials, but in some playlists you can check out more examples of my work, Spotify playlists that are on there, as well as pricing and booking policy, all that. I use Square Booking, so the link should be on the site as well. My publisher maintains my site, and I believe it's at the top or near the top of the home page. But there you can click, see my calendar. First hour deposit. Choose your amount of time you want to book.
You hear that, you guys? If you're serious about your music, hit that website out. Hit that website up. What's the name of that website again?
DJLoot.biz.
Hit that one there. Book your time that you can, because this man is very busy, and the fact that he has high quality, which I know a lot of artists are trying to reach. Hit that website, book your time, go ahead and get that in. I want to thank Lut for coming to the podcast. I want to thank you guys for coming to the podcast, and also I'm going to ask the biggest and the hardest question to people out there who are listening, which is this: if you like the podcast and everything we got going on here, do me the biggest favor and subscribe to us on YouTube. I feel that's the hardest thing to get someone to do. For some reason, you follow me on Instagram, it's nothing. Following me on Facebook is nothing. But I don't know why, but it's just the way it is. People have a hard time to want to follow you on YouTube. So if you really support this podcast, please go ahead and do that. Find us at Support Cha Boi Podcast on YouTube. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to check us out, checking out DJ Lut, and listening to me, of course.